Hi everyone. Welcome back to the Potsmucker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Potsmucker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament, of the Christian Bible. I used the King James Version of the Christian Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel from the scattered bits and pieces of testimony left to us from the ancient Israeli prophets. And once I read or put together the prophecy, I found that it contained a set of instructions on how to contact God and bring them back to earth. So, it took me a few years to do it, but I managed to fulfill every stipulation of the prophecy. I followed the instructions to the letter, which has brought me here to social media, where I am reading to you from the Book of Zion, which was part of the prophecy that I should publish peace. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Now, in order to do that, I'm reading to you from the manuscript that I have written. The Potsmoker's Bible, I'm reading from that one today, and it is the 17th chapter of the Potsmoker's Bible, and it contains the 14th chapter of the Book of Zion. And I'm going to take up where I left off yesterday. We were talking about both Zion and Israel being reassured by the gray that they'll keep their promises. The reason every returning God is represented by this passage is because the priests of Zion merge all ancient gods into gray. One of the requirements of Zionite priest is to be ordained into every known faith, therefore uniting all of the gods of the earth into one unified God. A Zionite priest performs the services of every religion, uniting all gods and their followers into a single gray religion, if you want to call it that, because it's really not a religion. This will create a replica of the true human government practiced by the ancient people pre-flood. This unity of religion and government will end much of the violence prevalent in society. So Isaiah is telling the world that they come to keep the promises made to all of humanity. There are 12 known species in the galaxy that we are aware of, and although all have contributed to the earth in some form, the gray are the true force on earth. They have always been the main alien influence of humanity. The gray, who are blue, are all and are all of the ancient gods of the earth. This brings us to Ezekiel 39:21, which is Zion 14:45. And I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed, and my hand that I have laid upon them. Ezekiel 39:21 shifts gears to address the hypocrites, the heathenistic beliefs of many, if not most, Zionite drug users. The gray created us to reject the modern concept of God, so that we would be known as heathen atheists. We alone can bring the God concept into reality. God is gray. Only an atheist would seek an alien as opposed to a God. In other words, as counterintuitive as it seems, our non-belief was essential. Only by rejecting the false concept of God can we realize the true God of the gray. Truth requires us to reject the modern concept of religion and the false gods that those religions embody. Now my people can address the true God, little g, the great. Our religion is science. The gray are scientific. We see alien where everyone else is looking for God with a big G. But there is no other God but the gray. They, the gray, created humanity. The gray are the true God. But only an atheist would look to a true physical creator, an alien, our God. Which brings us to Psalms 89:34, which is Isaiah 14:46. My covenant will I not break, nor alter the thing that has gone out of my lips. Psalms 89:34 reminds us of the decree that the prophecy would be realized. All promises to all faiths will be honored. Zion will happen. The true alien creators have set it in motion. Reality has been set up to actualize the events foretold. The gray are here to ensure that it will happen exactly as they told us it would. Which brings us to Isaiah 41:4, which is Zion 14:47. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, saith the Lord, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Isaiah 41:14 goes on, fear not, you worm Jacob. Here Isaiah acknowledges the sins of the Zionite people. No one needs to dispute the faults of my people, who are worms in the eyes of the gray. We are not yet worthy of our calling. But then again, we've never even tried to be anything but a worm. So I in the gray acknowledge the nature of my people. We are worms. But, as I just said, we have never tried. We have never even considered being what we were created to be. So we've allowed ourselves to be whatever we felt like being. Worms. Now we can become as great as we can imagine. There's no telling what we can do if we just decide to try. Fear not, you mindless party animals. Give us gray a try. Use your God-given high to do something wonderful. Become as delightful as you are perverse. The gray are here to guide you to become the best that you can be. Don't be afraid of the light, of being good. Let's see what a gray, small g, meaning hybrid human earthling, the human gray, as opposed to the gray human, can do. As always, the gray include the blooded Israelites as part of this promise. Israel, our brother, is always remembered by the gray to honor Abram or Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Jacob, who's Israel. I will help you, the gray are Redeemer, the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, those who from the heavens came. Which brings us to Isaiah 3:12-15, which is Zion 14:48-51. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. The Lord standeth up to plead, and standeth up to judge the people. The Lord will enter into judgment with the ancients of his people, and all princes thereof. For ye have eaten up the vineyard the spoil of the poor is in your houses. What mean ye, that you beat my people to pieces, and grind the faces of the poor, saith the Lord, the God of hosts? Isaiah 3, 12 to 15. This passage tells us in clear terms that the government is wrong. Those who lead us cause us to do the wrong thing. They teach our children to dishonor their parents. They try to convince us that we're sick. We are a matriarchy. Women rule over us. And that is just verse 12. Every word is true. The DARE program taught school children to tell on their parents. They would show children marijuana pipes and ask if mommy and daddy use things like this at home, with the sole intent of arresting the parents and brainwashing the children in often abusive foster homes. Our children are used against us. How is that ethical? Women rule over us. Well, our manly men are so quick to abandon their young that single parent households are the norm for Zionites. It began and is because of the war on drugs. Our men are taken from us. They were corrupted by the male dominated society that we are seeing explode. Women rule Zion because the men are either in jail or too abusive to endure. Women have no choice but to rule. And oh, my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err. The genocidal tactics of the government tries to convince us that we're sick. Drug use is a disease. If you use a drug, even once, you're a criminal, responsible for evils of society. You will be a good person if you stop using drugs. Drug use is a choice. The government is wrong. The propaganda of the government is baseless. A disease is an involuntary illness caused by the invasion of an unknown organism, a living thing. Drugs do not qualify as an illness because it is a chosen act. The drug user chooses to do the drugs. Sickness is not a choice. It's a consequence of outside forces. There is no basis for the assumption that drug use is an illness. Addiction is a result of chosen abuse of a substance, usually caused by true mental anguish, caused by society. It is not a cause of illness. It is an over self-medication of an inner conflict resulting from trauma. A true sickness is the unresolved pain our society refuses to address. Mental illness. Emotional problems are hidden because the cause of those problems stem from immoral, selfish acts of the seemingly good people of society. Our pain is unresolved because those responsible refuse to admit their crimes. In Zion, one of our projects will be what I call scream therapy. We will train people to aid the mentally ill as they release all of their pain. This will be done to cleanse the soul of the person. Only by safely releasing the emotions repressed can the mentally heal their trauma. That's where I'm going to end today. So may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. And may they teach you right from wrong. May you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it. That'll make you happy. Next time I'll teach you about scream therapy to help with mental illness because I love you guys. If you use drugs, stay happy and high. You have every right and reason to. I'll never say goodbye. I'll always say later.